Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming out this evening, and hello to all you people out there in wavelength land, watching our live stream. We're live if you're watching it right now. If you're watching it later, if you are watching it later, we're still alive, but it's I thought Monk was complicated. That's a tune by Thelonious Monk called Well You Needn't. And that, of course, is Damian Graham on the drums. Ryan Tandy on the bass. And my good friend Tom Bowler running sound tonight, but he's going to be up here on the stage with us the next time we're here on September 19th. We'll have the band back together. Now, this next Monk tune, some of them will play kind of straight, like the way he recorded them, and some of them will put our own spin on it, like we just did with that one, adding a little second line New Orleans Caribbean feel to it. This next one, we're going to play it pretty straight. It has a title that could be understood in several different ways. It's a simple title, it's just 3 words. The title is Think of One. And that could mean, think of one like a musician talk, like the 1 chord and the 5 chord. Just think of the one, It could have a kind of a Zen-like meaning, think of one. Like George Carlin stoned. Think of one. Or it could be have a kind of a British Isles, like think of one. Think of one, Or it could be something like, Thelonious, what's the name of this tune? Think of one. He has several tunes that I suggest that's the origin of the title. There's one we played last time out here called Ask Me Now. It was probably after they recorded it. Now you can ask me. See? Not while I'm trying to play the thing and lead the band. Ask me now. And so they wrote that down. Anyway, this song has not been covered by very many people. I think probably no one had covered it until Wynton Marsalis did in the album that made him famous. It made him a star. This was the title tune from his album Think of One. And the reason we all know who Wynton Marsalis is now is because of the impact that album had. So this is our little version, filtered through Wynton's version and back to Monk's version of Think of One. Think of one. We threw a little bit of one of many songs that Thelonious Monk covered in his recording career, a song called Dinah, that of course was much older than him. And it reminds us that Thelonious Monk came as a young man to New York in the age of stride piano. And we threw a little stride in there, not quite like he does on the recording, because he learned it at the feet of James P. Johnson and Willie the Lion Smith. Thelonious Monk is one of jazz's all-time great stride piano players. And every once in a while he would let it loose for us. Let me throw the guys a curveball, because there's no need for them to have to wait all night for me to pull the rug out from under them. At one of his first recording sessions under his own name, Monk recorded an old song that sort of reflected his origins. He was born down in North Carolina. And as a young man, his family moved up to New York. And he entered his teen years and spent the rest of his life in New York. So he did not come out of middle America. He didn't come out of Memphis or Kansas City or St. Louis or any of those scenes. He didn't go up from New Orleans up there. He went from the Carolinas. In his last couple of years of touring, he played his one of his last shows in Durham, North Carolina, and gave a shout out to his homies from Rocky Mount. I don't know if he played this song at that gig, but I think he had about as many people in the audience as we have tonight at that one, because for some reason modern jazz wasn't all that big in the Carolinas. But this is the song he asked Milt Jackson and those other modern jazz cats he had hired to play with him. It's going to be in the key of guess what? Carolina Moon. And of course, even with this is our second full show of monk music. We're going to play some other stuff tonight too. Don't worry. But we played an all monk set last month, and only got to about a quarter of the tunes that we know and that we wanted to do. What's the next on our list there? Oh, this is one called Little Rudy Tooty. And it was, and when we finish Little Rudy Tooty, we're going to go up a step and kind of sag into another tune at the same tempo. Little Rudy Tooty was a nickname Thelonious had for his son, who apparently liked to roll around the apartment on a little fire truck. Here come Little Rudy Tooty. So it's like many monk things. It's got some very childlike qualities to it. There's a particular chord that whenever I'm around children, I always like to, if I see a 4-year-old child, how'd you like to learn a Thelonious Monk tune? And I pretend not to notice the expression on the dad's face, but kids love to do this. Any kid can do that, right? So you can imagine yourself as a 4-year child playing that part when I play it. Little Rudy Tooty. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Little Rooty Tooty, followed by rhythming, which means vamping on the rhythm changes, the changes of I Got Rhythm. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna do some rhythming. Reading, writing, and rhythming. And rhythming is even harder to spell than rhythm. What is the next on the list, Maestro? Huh? Okay. Well, we might as well go ahead and do this one because this is our fourth Monk show, and we've never played this song live. And my my reason for that has been because everybody plays it. You know, there's 2 or 3 Monk songs that you always hear. One of them is Straight No Chaser, and the other is Blue Monk, and those are really kind of simple blues changes songs, deceptively simple. And the other one is the one he wrote possibly when he was 17 years old. A friend of mine told me the story. This was a guitarist from Sealy, Texas, named Huey Long. Same name as the Louisiana governor from All the King's Men, but different fellow, different race. This was an African-American fellow from Sealy, Texas, who started out as a banjo player, and he went up to Chicago, and someone said, get rid of the banjo and get a guitar. The banjo's out of style. The white people have stolen that now. So that's another story. So he got a guitar, and he wound up playing with, did some recordings with Lil Armstrong, Louis Armstrong's wife. Played a little bit with Jelly Roll Morton. Played with lots of other people. Played with the Earl Hines Big Band at the same time that they had Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, and Benny Golson, and Sarah Vaughan in the same band. He showed me a picture of that band, and Sarah Vaughan was sitting at the organ playing. Earl Hines was at the piano and Sarah Vaughan at the organ. I said, what's she doing on the organ? He said, well, nobody knew she could sing. So he played with Sarah Vaughan before anybody knew she could sing. And in the picture he showed me, Charlie Parker's playing a tenor sax, not an alto, because somebody else had the alto chair in that band. Anyway, Huey's next gig after that was for several months to replace the guitarist in the Ink Spots who got drafted. So he was with the original Ink Spots for a while in the 40s, and he played a lot of those Jazz at the Philharmonic shows, and they backed Ella Fitzgerald, and he recorded some with the Ink Spots. I'm over at his house one day, and I thought, I'm sitting here with an ink spot. And you know, the guy called me up one day when he was 96 years old. They asked, what do you know about these Roland keyboards and these Yamahas? Which one's best? 96 years old, he wants to talk gear, like he's going on tour. Anyway, when he was with the Ink Spots, they were playing a big package deal show, kind of like a Jazz at the Philharmonic thing, at the Apollo Theater. And Huey, at that time, smoked, and he went out in the alley, out the stage door to smoke a cigarette, and up walked Thelonious Monk with a piece of sheet music rolled up, stuck up under his armpit. And Monk said to Huey, as Huey told me directly, he said, Huey, can you get me in? I got a song I want to see if I can get somebody to record it. And Huey said, well, I can get you, I can comp you a seat, get you a seat up front. You sit out there and see the show. No, I don't want to see the show. I just want to sell my song to somebody. So he said, okay. So he got him in through the stage door, and Monk at the time was still a teenager. And Monk goes in and runs into Bud Powell, who introduces him to Cootie Williams, who goes back in a rehearsal room, and Monk lays out the music and plays a little bit for him on the piano. And Cootie Williams says, yeah, I think I could record that. Let me put you with my business manager to explain how it works. And the explanation that Thelonious Monk got is that when the record came out, it would say the title of the song, and then it would say by Cootie Williams, by his business manager, and by Thelonious Monk. Your name will be on it in third place. So Monk said, give me a minute to think about this. So he goes back to Huey, who's in between sets, and he says, look what's going on back here, man. Look what they're telling me they want to record my song, but give me just a third of the money and put my name third on it. And Huey said, that's when I said the saddest thing I've ever said to another musician. Young man, here's the deal. You can get your song recorded, or you can go back home with your sheet music rolled up under your armpit. Because this is how the business works. So Monk took the deal and was not always that enthusiastic about playing this song when people called it out and requested it, even though it was his most famous number, possibly because he got a little tired of playing it, but also possibly because he'd been ripped off so badly, and for another reason, because Miles Davis had recorded it and had a big hit with it, even though he played it incorrectly. I talked with somebody in Monk's band. What did Monk think about Miles' version of the song? And Monk said, I'd have been glad to show him the bridge if he'd only asked. And the song is written by a teenager from North Carolina. It's called Round Midnight. So that one was already titled before it went to the studio. Miles got that wrong too. He called it Roundabout Midnight. Well, I mean, this, as Monk would have said, this is a dentist's son from St. Louis. But it certainly made a lot of money for both Monk and Miles, and helped Miles establish himself as the leading jazz figure of his time. Miles covered a bunch of Monk tunes. He did Straight No Chaser, and he and Monk recorded together a few times. One of the sessions, apparently, they got into a fist fight in the middle of playing The Man I Love, because Monk was playing kind of outside and kind of strangely, and Miles convinced himself that Monk was lost, so he began blaring the melody very loudly right at him, which didn't go over that well with Thelonious Monk, who was much bigger than Miles Davis. I think Monk would have won that fight. But they also recorded both on sessions with Charlie Parker back in the 40s at the beginnings of the bebop time. And because Monk was getting famous around the same time as, Dizzy Gillespie and the Charlie Parker and the beboppers were getting going, people sort of mistakenly associated him with that movement. As far as I know, Thelonious Monk only made one recorded comment in regard to bebop music. I think it was Downbeat magazine asked him, what do you think about the bebop? And Monk replied, and I quote, "It sounds like Dixieland to me." So I guess Monk didn't think of himself as a bebopper. I'm going to keep talking till Ryan tells me the next song. Huh? Oh, yeah. This is this one's called Baya. And we're going to feature the drummer, Damien. I mean, the way I feel about Damien is you don't notice him, but he's there. You better notice him. This is one of the few pieces that Monk wrote that had a little bit of a Latin feel to it. So we're going to go in that direction, kind of exploit that with our version of Baya. By you. Damian Graham on the drums. Just remember the more you applaud for Damian, the less I have to pay him. I told you to read the fine print. Ever since, I first met Damian, I've wanted to play that song with him just to hear what he would do with it. And that's the first time we've played it. And I don't know what took me so long. And the upright bass work wasn't too shabby. Although, I just found out today that Ryan Tandy is not quite as cool as you folks think he is. I probably shouldn't even tell you this about him because he has a day job.
How dare you make money?
Oh, we're having fun with this music, and I hope you're enjoying it and having fun with it too. And I hope you folks at home, if you're watching it now, you can watch it again later, and you'll be watching it then. And I'm supposed to say that if you're watching at home, you're very welcome to go to the donate button on the Hermann's website or to the link that's provided there in the video on the Facebook page and make a donation to keep this club going. This club has been going a long time. And I damn sure intend for this club to be here when Donald Trump is gone. And my wife is saying, there he goes again. My mother's looking down from heaven saying, he'll say anything that comes out of his mouth. If you've seen me before, you know that my mom and my dad took different views of me. That's how she saw me. He'll say anything that comes out of his mouth. And my dad might have been partly Canadian because he said, son, if you get up there and you go blank, just keep talking till you think of something to say. From Newfoundland, Alabama. Keep talking till you think of something to say. Well, I said on Facebook right before I came down here that I was going to play my first show in front of people in exactly 6 months, since February the 29th was the last time we played here for an audience. And as I said then, I hope I remember how to act. Yeah. Because right now, you go home and there it is on Facebook and you can see it. You can embarrass yourself over and over again by watching what you said or forgot to say or the people you forgot to thank. And I just want to ask for a round of applause for everybody that works in Hermann that set this up to keep us as safe as humanly possible. And I think they've done a tremendous job. And there's no way to tell you how many volunteer hours have gone into all of this, too, to figuring out what to do with the club, come in and keep it going when we couldn't have any audience at all, live streaming from here every night, people coming down, volunteering to do the sound and the video, and to be here and open it up and close it behind us. And I walk in, they've just sanitized the keyboard and the microphone, and so many things like that go into making this possible, and I think they've done a tremendous job. And Tom Bowler on the sound tonight. You folks at home, you ought to be clapping for him if you're hearing any audio at all coming through. Now, what am I skipping?
Skipping?
Hmm?
I don't know. What are you skipping?
What's next on the list?
Off minor and episcopal.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna try one now that we tried for about an hour at sound check to get right, never could get right. And sometimes when that happens, the one time we get it right is when people are here. Now that I've said that, this might not be that night. So, if we have just a complete train wreck here in this song, can't even get through it, Damien will owe you an apology. This is one of Monk's early tunes, Trunk, that he recorded in his first sessions with Blue Note. I think the first cover was done by his dear friend, the great Bud Powell. And by the way, let me just say one more thing before I play this song. You know, Monk went to jail to keep Bud Powell from having to go to jail because Bud had some things on his record. And they were sitting in the car one night, and Bud had, apparently the story is that Bud Powell had some drugs with him and slipped him up in the front seat before they'd be there with Monk. And Monk told the cops they were his to keep Bud from going off to prison with him. And everyone went around to him and said, you know, you got to come clean and tell them the truth because they're going to take away your cabaret card. You won't be able to play in clubs. Nobody's going to know you. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it my way, and nobody's going to call me a snitch. So, you know, when you think of the recent current events of what has happened to people in situations even less problematic, you can certainly see Thelonious Monk as a man of principle and courage who stood by his friends and took the blow for him. And, with no way of knowing what was going to happen once those cops got him alone. And there's several other stories about Monk along this line, but if there's any musician whose life tells us that Black lives matter, it's the life of Thelonious Monk. And these other people that I've named, too. I'm ever mindful that it was black folks that gave birth to the music that I play, inspired me to play it, that literally laid their hands on mine and showed me how to play it. And I hope that I don't live long enough to forget to acknowledge an unpayable debt. If someone says, what's the message of the blues or the message of the music? The message of the music is that Black lives matter. And all lives can't matter until they do. So, that's my speech for the night. If you write my name in on the ballot, shame on you. We were going to play a song called Off Minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. F minor. Wasn't exactly a train wreck, but I did see one of people jumping out the window of the caboose as we rolled down the tracks on it. We'll keep trying that one until we get it better. I was going through Monk Records, and I noticed the pattern in the very late 60s, early 70s at his concerts. He would play his theme song, Epistrophe, as a boogie woogie. Now, Epistrophe is a darn difficult song to play in the first place with a lot of weird changes to it. And when you take an old time down home boogie woogie feel and put it with it and try to play it with that, you gotta pay attention to what you're doing. We're gonna try that now, and do Epistrophe as a heavy backbeat boogie woogie. And now we'd like to play a couple of things kind of like in the style of Monk. If he played a lot of club dates, he would have played some of these songs, though he never recorded them. This is an old song I first heard done by the trumpet player Ray Anthony. It's called A Worried Mind. 9. G.
Well, see rider, see what you have done. See rider, see what you have done. Well, you made me love you, now your man has come. Oh, why, see rider, why did you lie to me? Yes, you did. Tell me, baby, why did you lie to me? You made me love you, now I can never be free. Way, baby, I ain't coming back this fall. Going away, baby, ain't coming back this fall. If I find me a new girl, ain't coming back at all. Oh, see rider, see what you have done. See rider, see what you have done. Well, you made me love you, now your man done gone. Got your sheep tonight. There's a wolf on the river, better watch your sheep tonight. A wolf on the river, better watch your sheep tonight. When the moon come out, honey, that's my time to ride. When I see a lamb, you know I start strutting. I can't help it, I love my mutton. There's a wolf on the river. Wolf on the river. Wolf on the river, better watch your sheep tonight. Every time I see a young lamb, I ain't got no conscience and I don't give a damn. There's a wolf on the river. Wolf on the river. Wolf on the river, better watch your sheep tonight.
That was, of course, a little bit of a return to Thelonious Monk, having created a kind of a context to play those things in. That was a medley of first a blues called Misterioso, which would be the perfect child's finger exercise for a beginning piano student, you know, maybe a year or so in the studies to begin to get the blues, just to learn to finger it. If I'd had a piano teacher to show me that, I might have got somewhere. And then we played a little bit of Blue Monk, the original melody, not the melody most people play. Monk gave up trying to teach him to play it. And we put in a little bit of a song called Jackie-ing, like Jackie with an I-N-G. Judging, I don't know what that song's about. And then I think we went back to Misterioso. Last time we played a tune from an album called Thelonious Monk Plays Duke Ellington, which one of his record companies had him do. Last time we played Caravan. If you want to hear us play that, you can go back and watch that. It's still on there on the site. But we're going to do another Duke Ellington tune that everybody knows, called "It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing." Of course, there's a shorter title that musicians use, especially jazz players. It don't mean a thing. Whether it's got the swing or not.
Hello? Well, I'm at work. Where do you think I am? Look, man, I paid that bill. No, well, if it hadn't got there yet, it's in the mail. What? Oh, why didn't you say so? It's for you, Ryan. Ryan Tanny on the bass this evening. I hope you've enjoyed him. I guess that's everybody. Oh, on the drums. Why not the best? The great Damian Graham. It's an honor and a privilege to get to play this music for you. We appreciate you coming. We appreciate you doing what you can to support live music, support us musicians getting through this. You know, we feel sorry for ourselves sometimes, but we're not having it nearly as bad as a lot of people are out there. And we've all got to be kind to each other. Let the music lift us up, get us through this, give us the healing. Our show on September the 19th will be called Blues as the Healer, based on something John Lee Hooker said. He said, you know, he said this before he wrote the song about it. Blues is the healer all over the world. It's not music that brings you down. It's music that lifts you up when something else has brought you down. It's healing music. We're going to try to go for that healing vibe in the blues, not the feel sorry for yourself stuff, but the stuff that makes you feel like, man, I am glad I'm still alive. Surprised as I am. All right, we're gonna get out of here now, run through the head of this one more time, and then go home. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching at home, folks. Herman's Jazz Club. Thank you so much for all your donations and all your support. And thank you, lovely people, for being here tonight. We love every one of you. Play a song Monk recorded for a French movie called Les Liaisons Dangereuses with Jean Moreau and Gérard Philippe. It's a 19th century song called We'll Understand It Better By and By. G. I got it first. We're tossed and driven on a restless sea of time. Thunder clouds and howling tempests block out the sunshine. But you tell me one fine day, when that mist has rolled away, we'll understand it better by and by. Oh, by and by, when the morning comes, when all the saints gone together home, we'll sit and tell the story of how we've overcome. We'll understand it better by and by. Thank you again. Thank you. Be safe, be happy, be well.